Today we have a special treat for you. Our friend Chef James is going to teach us how to make creme brulee for two. So if you're looking for something sweet to make for your sweetie for Valentine's Day, then come on, let's go grab him and he'll show us how to make it. You guys, I'm so excited. This is James, Chef James.
Hello.
And he's been so nice to come and collaborate with us, and this is our first collaboration, so thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And he was nice enough to make this creme brulee recipe and scale it down for two, just to be appropriate for this show. So all you're gonna need for that is eggs, sugar, heavy cream, orange, powdered sugar, water, and ground ginger. It is an intermediate recipe, don't you think?
It is.
Because it's pretty precise, I would say.
It is. Just like baking, everything's pretty precise in baking.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a science.
In his recipe, he has all these little extra garnishes. If you're pressed for time or you're not feeling that fancy, you don't have to add those. But what we did was he gave me a tip to make the candied orange peel the night before. What I did was grab an orange, just zest one half of it, and save that zest for later because that's going into your creme brulee mixture. Chop off the top and bottom of the orange and follow the curve of the orange with your knife. And then that's how you remove the peel. Try to remove as much of the white parts, the pith, as possible. You trim down all of the little jagged edges and then thinly slice the orange peel. Then you have to blanch the orange so that you remove some of the bitterness. Grab the orange peel, cover with cold water, bring it to a boil, let it cook for 2 minutes, then you drain. You do this 2 more times. Then when that's done, you just have to make a simple syrup. All you do is grab a half a cup of warm water and 1 cup of sugar and just whisk it until it's combined. Then you put it over medium heat and let it come up to a gentle simmer. Then let that simmer for 5 minutes without stirring. Once that's done, you have to add your orange peels and make sure they're submerged, but don't stir them in. Let them gently simmer away for anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the size of your pot. Don't stir it because it will crystallize, and don't let it get too thick because if the syrup gets too thick, your candy peel is gonna become extra hard. Once they're done, you just fish them out and place them over a baking rack placed over a tray. Once the simple syrup becomes a little more set, then you just toss them in a 1/4 cup of sugar just to make sure that they're all separate from each other, they don't stick to each other. Then you just place them on a plate and let them dry completely for another 2 hours. So this is what you're left with, and these orange peels look good, right?
They look delicious, Julie. They look perfect.
They're kind of like gummy candy. I made a swap out for today, and I don't know how it turned out. I don't know if I mastered the techniques, honestly. So let's see how you do it, and you can walk me through it. Anything you need for help, I'll help you too.
Okay. Thank you for all that pressure. So we're going to start off by cracking our 4 eggs. We're only going to be using the egg yolk. Using the fingers, just kind of squeeze and pinch, and then that'll release the white from the yolk a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, because sometimes there's like that big booger that
exactly,
hangs off there.
Exactly. That's what you do not want.
Okay.
And that's 4.
And now we gotta wash
Yes.
the salmonella. We'll be back.
So what Julie's doing right now is she's boiling a pot of water, and that water will be used for our water bath for the creme brulee. We're going to start whisking our eggs and incorporating a 1/3 cup of granulated sugar into it.
When I made this before, my mixture actually broke. So the cream and the egg started to separate.
Okay.
And then what I realized is that it's because of this stage, I overbeat the eggs and the sugar.
Yeah, that's something that you don't want to do. So when you incorporate your sugar into your eggs, you just want to lightly mix it, just so it's kind of mixed, but then if you overbeat it, there's a good chance that your mixture will end up breaking. So as you can see here, I just lightly mixed it just so that the sugar has been fully incorporated into our egg yolks. So what we're going to do next is take the 1 cup of heavy cream and the 3/4 of a teaspoon of orange zest that Julie prepared ahead. We're going to put the cream into our pot, and then we're going to dump in our orange zest right there. We're just going to put it on low heat, on medium to low heat. We don't want it to boil, so we're just going to keep it on a low simmer.
So while we're waiting for the cream to scald, I want to properly introduce James, and he's been working in the industry professionally as a chef for the past 5 years. You've been making creme brulee a lot, huh?
Yes, I have. At pretty much all my jobs, I've had to make creme brulee at least one time.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a very simple recipe, but it does take a little fine tuning. There are a lot of mess ups every now and then, but then that's to be expected. So we've let our cream and our orange zest go for a little bit. So about 10 to 15 minutes, just so the orange zest could fully fuse into the cream. We're gonna steadily raise the temperature of our egg yolk and sugar so it doesn't scramble. At this point, you wanna be a little bit careful. You don't wanna mix a little too much.
So I noticed that your recipe doesn't have vanilla extract in it, which I think is unique.
Yeah, so the reason I didn't add any vanilla into this recipe is that I really wanted the citrus from the orange zest to come out and be much more present in the dish. And so what we're going to do next is we are going to strain our mixture. And so this kind of doubles as a precaution. Just in case we did scramble some of the egg yolks, this is going to filter that out. And on top of that, this is going to make our mixture a lot more silky and more consistent.
Oh, so then all the zest gets trapped in there, though.
Yes, so that's why we kept the cream going for about 10 to 15 minutes, just so we could have enough time for the zest to infuse into our cream. So we're going to place our ramekins into our baking dish, and we're going to ladle in our custard mixture.
And you're not supposed to fill it all the way up.
No, if you fill it up all the way, then there's a chance that it might overflow. The reason for the water bath is that the water will only reach 212 degrees. That's its boiling point. It won't go any higher than that. And so by keeping the water bath in a 325 degree oven, you're not cooking your custards at 325 degrees, but you're cooking them around 212 or even a little less. That as well. I feel like such a nerd. Also, the moisture from the water bath will make it so that the top of your creme brulee, it won't crack or anything, so it just stays nice and consistent and smooth.
You're gonna fill it about halfway, so we're gonna do that in the oven. So I just put a little bit in now, and then we're gonna do it in the oven so it doesn't slosh around too much.
Okay, sounds good. So I've just set our timer for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we'll check our creme brulee to see if they're done. You don't want to open the oven door too often because you're going to let all the heat release out and then it'll take longer to cook. So when the creme brulee is done, it should be set on the sides but a little jiggly in the middle. Don't be afraid that if it looks a little too wiggly or jiggly in the middle because it will set over time as they're cooling down. So while our creme brulees are in the oven, we're going to be making our ginger whipped cream. So the reason I chose ginger is because it's a very complementary flavor to our orange in our creme brulee. So what I did was added our half cup of heavy cream, our half tablespoon of powdered sugar, and we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. So it'll just give it a more, I guess, comforting feeling to it. We're going to start off on low, and then we're going to slowly work our way to a higher speed. And so now we're just waiting for our creme brulees to finish, and then I'll show you how to torch them. They look pretty good. So if you notice right here, the outer rim, the outside, it's not shaking too much, but you see a little shake in the middle. So I'm gonna pull these out because I think they're ready. I'm gonna remove our creme brulees from the water bath and put them on a tray so they could rest and set at room temperature. So our custards have been resting at room temperature for about 45 minutes now. As you can see, they're just a little bit more set than they were when we pull them out of the oven. So now would be the perfect time to put them in the refrigerator to cool for about an hour or a little bit more. Ideally, I do like to make this the night before, so it is all ready and done. You don't have to worry about it the day of all your other cooking. So you just pull it out, brulee it, and they're good to go.
I tried to be helpful and follow James's recipe. Little did we know that mine would turn out so gross looking.
They're not that bad.
But they're much paler.
So when you overbeat the eggs, they do kind of cream a little bit more. Another thing is if you look around the edges, that they do look a little, not as smooth. That could come from the straining. So.
Right. Before I got his notes, I didn't strain it. When you strain it, it's definitely more smooth. Also, they're a little bit more cooked on the edges because when I tested this, I made this in my oven for about 35 minutes, and then James did his for about 30. But we can still brulee these, right?
Of course, yes. We
for
can
the
still
sake
do
of
that.
time.
Yeah.
So James was nice enough to bring his little kitchen blowtorch because I don't have one.
You could probably pick this up on like Amazon, Bed Bath Beyond. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could use a torch too. It's not only for creme brulee. If you ever make a French onion soup, or if you ever just want to like sear cheese or breadcrumbs on
That's a really
anything.
good idea. And if you're interested in snagging your own, then we could leave a link for you down below to see what kind of torch James uses.
So we're going to take a half tablespoon of granulated sugar. So we're just going to sprinkle this on top of our creme brulee. And so at this point, what I like to do is I actually like to kind of shake it and evenly coat the surface with the sugar. And so what you could see is we do have a lot of extra sugar. So I actually like to just kind of dump that out. So you do just get a nice even coating on top.
Oh, so it's like a really, really thin layer.
Yeah, you actually don't want to do too much. For my torch, I like to start at the bottom and move my way up. We'll start by turning on our torch. Get a nice flame going, just a little bit higher. And so I'm just going to not completely touch, and as soon as I see it start changing color, I'm going to move it around, kind of shift it around, move it around. So you do have to let it rest. You let the sugar to cool down, but also at the same time, you're letting it caramelize and melt a little bit more. That, and plus, if you go a little too soon, the sugar's too hot, you might end up melting your whipped cream. And now we just let them rest for a little bit before you add on your toppings. We're going to be making quenelles out of the whipped cream. Basically, it's just a fancy way to put whipped cream on top of anything. We're going to be using 2 spoons. First, get a dollop on your spoon like so. And then you're going to take your other spoon and start from the back, farthest away from you. Connect the 2 edges, and then just kind of scoop out and up. And then just repeat with the other spoon. So you kind of want to do this a few times until you get a nice shape going.
A little football shape.
Exactly. And so once you get a nice shape, you're just going to set that down. I like to just kind of offset it off to the sides. Just take your candied orange peel. You just put either one.
So cute.
Or you could put another one on. It's just however you want it. And then here you go. You have an orange citrus creme brulee, a ginger whipped cream, and a candied orange peel as garnish.
Dang, fancy. So, okay, let's go have a taste. So I couldn't leave Joe out from tasting this wonderful creme brulee because sweets are his favorite. And so I decided that I would have 2 dates today.
She's a lucky girl.
And for all you single ladies, just so you know, James is single. So leave a comment down below if you want to date him.
All right.
So keep in mind, these are my swap outs.
These still look good. So, that's really silky.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like nice, smooth.
Actually, I want a little bit of the ginger whipped cream.
So you really taste the orange. It's nice, vibrant. It's refreshing, the citrus on your palate. And then a nice, warm like feeling from a little bit of the spice.
Let's try yours. I know it's not perfectly set yet. This has only been in the fridge for like maybe an hour.
Joe, do the honors.
Looks like Joe likes it better.
No, because you could tell difference in the texture.
Oh yeah?
So this one's a little bit more yogurt-ish.
That's probably because we strained it and cooked it for less time, right?
Yeah, that would definitely help.
Now James would like to give you some substitutions.
You could also incorporate any other citrus that you might like. You could do lime, you could do lemon. You could also do cinnamon stick if you want. Just put cinnamon stick into your cream while you are scalding and simmering it. Just remember to take it out once again, I think.
Great idea for fall.
For fall, it would be perfect, yeah.
So thank you for taking the time to cook with us and scaling down the recipe for 2.
No problem. Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So remember, if you enjoyed this video, to push like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching. And if you want to date James, leave a comment. We'll see you next time. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye. So James, what are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Probably just order a pizza.
How romantic.
I'm coming over, James.
All right.
You have a date.
We'll bring the creme brulee.